Okay, my lovelies, and I know this is the one that you've been waiting for. Great and horrible. That's all it was. This was great and horrible. Hey guys, what's up? It's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. I do apologize. This is the first video I have done since my May reading wrap up, and I'm here with my June reading wrap up. And I had said in that reading wrap up that I already had some videos that I already had filmed and I just needed to edit them. And then you know what? June was a little bit of a rough month. This book right here. This book took me all month to read, and it affected a lot of my mood. It affected a lot of my emotions. I got sick for a lot of June. Anyway, June is just... We'll talk about June. I did read some great things for June, but June was just kind of a mess. Anyway, those videos, they're coming. They're coming this week, I promise. I'm literally editing them today. I'm getting my life together today. July, Ashley, is a whole new story. So anyway, let's talk about the books that I read for June. Okay, so first up for June, I finished up the last two books in the Highlander trilogy that I had started in May. And book 2 was Seduction of a Highland Lass, and book 3 was Never in Love with a Highlander. And like book 1, I just really liked it. This trilogy follows 3 Highlander brothers. The first brother, he's the laird. The second brother, he is sent to marry another clan's girl so that they can join clans and stuff, because the brother from the first book couldn't marry her. Well, while he is on his way to her clan, he gets ambushed, injured, and then he is healed by a woman in the woods. And they fall for each other, but it's very, very angsty and forbidden because he is betrothed to someone else who was her former friend growing up. There was a lot of drama in this one, but out of this trilogy, I think book 2 is definitely my favorite just because they wanted each other so bad, but he was a man of honor, and he made it very clear that once he married the other girl, he couldn't cheat on her, and it was a tearjerker. And then book 3, Never Love a Highlander, is going to be about the third and younger brother, and he is going to have an arranged marriage with the girl from the second book that brother was supposed to marry. Now, what makes this story interesting is that this female main character, she's a tough warrior herself. She is not your average kind of gal from the olden days. She likes to dress as a man. She likes to sword fight and everything, and so they clash a little bit, but overall, this was just a really, really fun trilogy. I love Highlander romances. Like I said, I'm a huge Outlander fan. The prequel for Outlander, Blood of My Blood, is coming in a month, in August, and if you need something to scratch that itch while we wait for that show to drop, I'm just saying, these were fun, they were quick, they were so enjoyable, so easy to fly through, and I think all of them I rated about 4.5 stars. And then I read KV Rose's new release, Did They Break You? I've talked about KV Rose a lot on this channel. She is an auto-buy author for me, and this book was just, so good. I have talked a lot this year and towards the end of last year that new dark romances have not been hitting for me. But this was a 5-star read. So obviously, if trigger warnings are a thing for you, you're probably not going to want to read this book. So our story is going to start off in our prologue. And our main characters, Remy and Courtland, they are hanging out in the woods. It's the summer after graduation. They are with his 3 best friends. They're just drinking and they're all having a good time. After too much drinking and jokes and comments are made, Remy ends up being sexually assaulted by Courtland and his friends. After this night is over, she ends up going to the police, reporting them. They have to go through all of this legal stuff. The case eventually gets dismissed and a year goes by. After this year goes by, Courtland ends up transferring to Remy's college, and they cannot stay away from each other. They are both very haunted by what happened this night the summer before, and like I said, they just can't stay away from each other. Courtland is obsessed with Remy. His friends are trying to keep him away from her. His parents are trying to keep him away from her. His friends' parents are trying to keep him away from her because basically they say, if you get with her, everything she said last year is going to come up again and then we're all going to look bad. But like I said, they cannot stay away from each other. Remy as she rightfully is super haunted by what happened the summer before. So she has completely changed her identity. She self-harms now, but she also cannot stay away from Cortland. So it is just this push and pull, toxic, obsessive relationship. But like I said, if trigger warnings are a thing for you, probably don't read this book. But if you love dark romances with some good twists and stuff, this was a great one. And then, literally within the last week, I have found myself in a pitch black romance kick. Pitch black. That means we are crossing every line possible. I have read pitch black romances before, but you know what? These particular ones, they were far, but they were entertaining. And you guys know that I love my toxic and unhinged dark romances. So let's talk about the first one. That is In Love with the Devil by Sky Blue. This was recommended to me by my friend Olivia, and okay, so our male main character Julian, he has always been psychotic. All right, he's always been twisted. He had this girl named Molly that he was absolutely obsessed with. They were the same age growing up, kids. Anyway, he used her, abused her, psychologically broke her so that she would depend on him. When they're in college, she ends up passing away from cancer, and it takes him by surprise. He becomes a doctor and studies so much that when he eventually finds his next obsession, he won't let her die. Then you flash forward 10 years, and Julian is now a gynecologist, and he meets his patient, Astoria, and Astoria is going to be the one that he is obsessed with right away. Now, when I say like he's been preparing for 10 years for his next obsession, I mean, he's been preparing. After Molly passed away, he bought this old abandoned farmhouse and he built a dungeon in the basement. So like he didn't even know who his next girl was. He had it prepped because he knew he would have a next girl. So anyway, he meets Astoria, and yeah, your story is going to go from there. And it was so dark, you guys. Like, trigger warnings should not be a thing for this book. Like, no, you need a certain kind of mind to go in with it. So that's why I'm not putting this lightly. But if you want some good, dark, twisted escapism, this was fun. And I believe I rated this one 4.5 stars. I binged the Rules of Bennett series by Ember Michaels. This was also recommended to me by Olivia. She is my fellow dark romance, pitch black romance, also Boys of Tom and Queen. If you guys have checked our live shows, we have a lot of fun there on TikTok. We're gonna bring them here, by the way. Anyway, this series I binged it in 2 days. So like In Love with the Devil, this is just very, very dark. So the Rules of Bennett is going to follow Bennett and Aurora, and long before Aurora was even born, her father made a deal to sign her away to Bennett's father so that she would eventually become his property. When you get to modern day, Bennett is traveling to go collect Aurora, and she has her own life. She has recently made it big with her own cosmetic line. She has recently got engaged, so her life is just going really, really well. And Bennett doesn't care. He's like, sorry, we have paperwork. You are mine. And he takes her. Now, this first book, Rules of Bennett, is a prequel novella, but you absolutely have to read this before you read the rest of the series, because in this novella is where he is taking her. It's only 75 pages, so you can read it really quickly, and then the rest of the 3 books are the rest of the series. But like I said, this is just another kidnapping romance, and he is so horrible to her. He's absolutely terrible. I will say the interesting thing about this story is that he is grieving. He had a woman named Stephanie that he was absolutely madly in love with, and she was brutally killed years before our story picks up. And from what Aurora learns from living on this compound and stuff from his men, he was really in love with Stephanie and like his one soft spot. So she knows he has a soft spot, but he is just so cruel. Like anytime Aurora tries to escape or do anything to get out of her situation, how he retaliates is probably the worst kind of torture I have ever read in a book. Ever. And like I said, I read really dark stuff. So anyway, those were those 4 books. I read them super quick over the weekend, but if you want to try something pitch black and really dark, go check them out. They are on Kindle Unlimited. And I think overall I rated this series 4.25 stars. Still really good, just not as good as In Love with the Devil. Okay, my lovelies, and I know this is the one that you've been waiting for because obviously June was dedicated to Lizzie. So I did finish up Taming 7, a reread, because like I said in my May wrap up, I was doing my tandem read, which by the way, if you guys are not timeline reading this series by now, you need to be doing it, okay? I have my tandem guide. I've had it up for over a year. There are other TikTokers that have made their own. I'm just telling you, it is life-changing, especially when you are trying to figure out the theories going into the next books and stuff. So I reread Taming 7. I actually changed my rating of Taming 7. As you guys know from last year, this was not my favorite book. I was very disappointed with it. But upon my reread, I loved it. As you guys know from last year, all of the Huey Lizzie crumbs were what was feeding me in this book. And this go around, it just fed me even more. I also looked at this with a different lens now that we know different things. And yeah, like I said, I upped my rating. This world is perfect. I will probably be rereading this again if we get a new book in the fall, I'm hoping. But yeah, I read that, and then now we go into this one. This quite literally wrecked my life, and it's only the beginning of the summer. All right, I started reading this the first week of June, and yeah, I didn't finish it till yesterday. And actually, spoiler alert, I'm still not finished with it. I have like 80 pages left, but I can't do it. I know what I'm missing. I know what is in these 80 pages, but I cannot do it. I cannot bring myself to actually read it because we do not have a release date. This quite literally is the most shattering book in this entire series. And this entire series is shattering. This entire series is tragic, traumatic, heartbreaking. This was just... It was so good though, I will say that. Currently my ratings, this is my second favorite. Redeeming 6 is still my favorite, and this is second, I think probably because it's a prequel, but I guarantee you the next one, Huey and Lizzie's present day story, is gonna take the cake for me. But this one, I'm not going to talk too much about the plot because I do have a vlog coming. I have to finish editing that today, so it'll probably be coming before this weekend. And then I also have my review. I'm going to post those separately because I know some people just like to watch reviews and not vlogs. And then I'm also working on doing some theory videos for YouTube. I've been posting a lot of theory videos on TikTok, but I have had a lot of you DM me on Instagram saying that you don't use TikTok. So I will be putting all of my theory videos on here because I have a lot of theories going into the next book, and a lot of them are pretty wild, and I need to know what you guys think. But obviously, infinity stars, 6 stars, however we say that this was perfect, but it was, like I said, it was also horrible. I haven't really said much. Like I said, I'm not even talking about the plot. I'm just going back and forth saying it was great and horrible. That's all it was. This was great and horrible. That's pretty much how you sum it up. My poor baby Lizzie. My poor baby. I will say though, I am really happy that a lot of opinions on Lizzie have changed since this book came out, but shocker, who could have seen that coming, right? Somebody read her POV and then they actually got the full story. Wow, imagine that. I need to stop. I am bitching so much, but anyway, perfect. This series owns my heart. These characters have been in my brain for months now thinking about this. They're not leaving my brain. Like I said, I've been on TikTok posting a lot of theory videos. I've been going live with my friend Olivia. We've been talking about it. You can join us there discussing your theories. I have a lot of Boys of Tommen stuff coming for you guys that I'm just so excited to share. I even had a few chats with Chloe at the beginning of the month after, you know, she had posted her video, and just lots of emotions coming out of this, you guys, just so much. But like I said, I have some really exciting Boys of Tommen content coming. But yeah, just this is how we ended the month. This is actually how we spent the entire month, but we had all those other reads keeping me grounded in the meantime. All right, well, that will do it for my really messy June reading wrap up. Like I said, June was just, it was kind of a mess. I was all over the place. I was sick. I was traumatized. Just a lot going on. But like I said, anyway, I have a lot of plans for July. As soon as I get done filming this, I'm going to get on the computer and edit so things will get done. As always, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!